Hello and welcome to Network. My name is Pumele Lezondi with your technology and social media news. SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. It's News Network at sabc.co.za on email. This week our Twitter poll is asking you, what do you think about certain countries using the same regulations they use to govern the press to actually this time govern private publishers of information on social media platforms? Results of that are coming up later in the program. Firstly, here's what's coming up in this particular episode. We will start in Richards Bay, where there is a conversation on how artificial intelligence is going to impact on the world of work. We look at Netflix clamping down on password sharing. And in our conversation, we chat about a new social media platform that's said to be the next rival for Twitter. There's a gathering of some industry leaders that's taking place in Richards Bay, and they're actually discussing robotics and artificial intelligence and how all of that will impact the future of work.
It's happening here in Richards Bay, and it is a partnership between Chemical Industry Education and Training Authority with Algo Edward Robotics Academy to introduce the wave of coding, the wave of robotics, the wave of AI to the city, together with to people globally, because one of the things that are happening is this is going to be live streamed, and people are able to just see what is happening and be part of the event. Questions they can be asked. So it is not closed just to Richards Bay, but it is for everyone to see. It is just happening here in Richards Bay.
We believe that these technologies have a potential to revolutionize the way we live, the way we work, and interact with the world around us.
We see this increasing artificial intelligence and automation just really affecting every aspect of our lives.
We are using AI to decolonize the curriculum. That's the way we put it, so that people can see it as a challenge that you've got to respond to. You must find a way in which you are talking about robotics, about AI, about this need to change literacy.
Innovation as part of research, helps us find new services and new products for our citizens, our customers and the like. We generate new knowledge, new policies and systems. We modify whatever that is existing. It allows us to invest, correctly, and change the quality of people, quality of life for the better.
So we want the industry to be part of this program and encourage and help train and introduce these children to what is happening in the industry, so that when they use their robotics knowledge and build solutions, their solutions are aligned with the industry. They are thinking about things that broadly or in that direction, and they are not thinking about developing things that are insignificant.
The more we digitize, the more there is a higher premium on human skills. And we're going to see that a lot in the workplace, because you can have 10 data scientists, but if they're all pulling in different directions, you have no results. So you need leadership with emotional intelligence and human skills to bring them together, working towards a common goal.
What artificial intelligence is gonna do is, it will be taking people. Right now, most people are miserable in their jobs. They feel like they don't have time. They feel like they don't have opportunity to express themselves. So we are taking technology, we are taking the work environment through artificial intelligence, and we are introducing the human part, so that people don't have to work as much anymore. That is too much time, but they can produce as much as they would produce working all day, maybe even more.
If you enter the workplace and you do not know how to use a device to our young people, you are already on the back foot. If you do not know how to use any form of digital communication, so if you are not digitally literate, Prof. Adugit, I fully agree with you. You are already at a disadvantage. And globally, we may find companies importing skills from abroad if we don't close this gap.
So people should not worry. What we should do is we should be agile. We should go back and we should study and upgrade ourselves, so that with knowledge we can then work less.
For a very long time, a lot of people have been sharing passwords in order for them to view content on Netflix. But the video on demand streaming platform says it's ending all of this. They've actually started in certain parts of the world.
The recent entry of streaming service Disney Plus into the African market is a clear indication that international companies are now looking to the continent as a key area of growth. Industry experts say Africa is largely an undeveloped subscription-on-demand market, but has high prospects for growth.
The subscription business model works, but the only challenge is that you need to cater for the content that people want. I can't pay for something that I don't really watch, for instance. So if you look at the traditional televisions or channels, as well as the first incumbent streaming services, they're facing challenge because people have now moved to other platforms that have got fresh content, which is making sense to them. So the idea is to keep the best content, as well as that appeals to the local community or to the area that you are trying to service.
Similarly, more local service players are entering the market as incumbents set out aggressive expansion plans and content strategies.
We have seen that there is a migration of audiences from the traditional audiovisual platforms. They're moving towards digital. And it was important for us to be agile in terms of being the multi-platform and the multi-device content provider. We have had to go that route. And it's very important because at the business model point of view, a lot of our advertisers and clients, they are moving much of their spend towards digital. And to make sure that we future-proof the sustainability of the SABC, it was important for us to do the same.
This doesn't come without challenges. With US streaming service Netflix admitting its struggle with password sharing by consumers, several on-demand services say they have seen a drop in their revenue as users share account details with friends and relatives.
Passwords will always be shared. Look, for instance, if I've got a family of 5 and my daughter is in Cape Town and she's part of my Netflix, she's at university in Cape Town, what do we expect? We expect her to have a different account. We're in different locations, but we are related. So this is a challenge that they have, I think that would be for them to try and address, because passwords will always be shared. I see Netflix has come up with a different kind of pricing models where they try to go as little as $3 and kind of thing. This is in South America, Chile, and other places where they've blocked this content sharing. Because according to what Netflix says, there are over 100 million people that were watching Netflix without paying.
Many consumers avoid paying for multiple services and choose to borrow passwords for various reasons.
I feel like people just share passwords because maybe they don't respect the content that they're getting. Maybe they want something which is really relatable to their story, or something which brings them back to where they belong.
I just don't subscribe, but I do watch my favorite shows, which I feel like also sometimes maybe if it was more local content, maybe I would think twice and subscribe, because we know it's also giving back to our artists.
I do subscribe, but only to local content, because if I have to subscribe to something, it must be something that relates to me, or something that I know of, or something that I'm interested.
The companies are now looking at methods to prevent revenue leakage. Analysts say streaming video services around the globe lose about $25 billion a year in potential revenue due to password sharing.
SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It's News Network at sabc.co.za on email. After the break, we chat about a new social media platform called BlueSky, and it seems to be gaining a popularity very, very fast. SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It's News Network at sabc.co.za. On email. BlueSky has been a trending term on various social media platforms in the last couple of days. It's a social networking platform itself that a lot of people are starting to flock to. You join there by invite, but there are some teething problems, like reports that say you are finding some nudes in their What's Hot page. It's something to do with the algorithm over there. Hopefully they are sorting that out. It's endorsed by former Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey, and it's also quite interesting that BlueSky was incubated at Twitter. Jack Dorsey has said that Elon Musk, the new owner of Twitter, is actually wrecking Twitter. To help us understand BlueSky and what it actually is technology journalist Brendan Peterson. Hello, and thank you very much for being a part of our network, Brendan. Maybe if you can start by telling us whether BlueSky can finally rival Twitter.
Yeah, I think it's such an interesting question because a lot of people are sort of hailing BlueSky as the new Twitter, especially because Jack Dorsey is behind BlueSky. Obviously, we know Jack Dorsey was behind Twitter back in the day. I think it's an interesting one because we need to look at how people are using these platforms. And traditionally, the way we're using platforms is we're using it to, follow the people we choose to follow, engage with the people we want to follow, and communicate with, again, select people. If those people don't also make the jump to the platform, then we're not going to. This is very much like the sort of WhatsApp debacle from a year or so ago, where people were not happy with, proposed sort of terms and conditions and, data sharing on WhatsApp, and were saying that they were going to jump to Telegram and things like that. And there may have been an initial jump of people wanting to make the move, but they ended up coming back to WhatsApp purely because the people that they engaged with did not also make the move. So those people still stayed on WhatsApp. It's the same thing here. We could all jump to BlueSky, but if the people we follow, the brands we engage with, don't also make the jump, we're going to go back to Twitter because that's where they are. And I think that is what potentially could stop BlueSky from becoming as big as Twitter.
What's the issue that a lot of people have with Twitter nowadays, Brendan?
The problem that people have with Twitter is, it's a lot of different things depending on sort of your perspective, but really it comes down to there were a lot of promises made, not many of those were delivered, and ultimately as consumers we're now being sort of nickel and dime. We're being charged for things that we have never been charged for before, and it's a platform also that doesn't work as well because there's not enough staff to run it. There are also sort of political angles in terms of which sort of political parties around the world or just in the US are getting sort of more airtime. It's also the question of authenticity. Because of the blue check debacle, can you now trust when someone is tweeting something that is actually the person that's tweeting it? Because anybody can now buy a blue check for $8, and yes, there's a whole bunch of things that they need to go through to prove that they are who they are, but I mean those things can be circumvented. We saw just the other day people were able to get blue checks by typing the word blue tick into their bio.
Twitter currently doesn't allow GIFs and video. Do you think this is something that could hurt them in a world with Instagram and TikTok?
Yeah, BlueSky doesn't allow GIF and video, and that is just the current state. That could change as they scale. That could certainly change if the need and the desire is there from the user base. But whether it's going to hurt them in a world with Instagram and TikTok, I don't think everything needs to be a competitor to Instagram and to TikTok. Everything doesn't need to be short form video, or even video based. I think there definitely is a space for BlueSky as it is. And just back in the day when it was launched.
Is there still a space for a platform that uses words?
I think, based on sort of the way I use these platforms and the way a lot of people that I know use these platforms, I think there definitely is still a place for a platform that just uses words. Especially if you're in media, especially if you're a journalist, there's a lot of people who rely on platforms like Twitter to communicate and to connect. Not everything needs to be a short form video competitor. There's definitely enough space for different types of media and different types of media content consumption. So I think there is space, and I think the way it's going to succeed is by making smart strategic decisions. And I think that Jack Dorsey, he's done it before with Twitter. I think he definitely has the potential to do it now.
All right, thank you very much, Brendan Peterson. That's technology journalist there. Brendan Peterson, helping us understand how BlueSky actually works and how it differs from other social networking platforms. It's SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za on email. Stay with us. It's SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Welcome back. Here's what else took place in the rest of the world in the tech space.
Scientists from the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology have developed a new machine learning algorithm which has the potential to reveal the hidden structure in data recorded from the brain and predict complex information such as what mice see.
So our new work is describing a new machine learning algorithm called Zebra, and what Zebra is very good at is being able to uncover sort of the hidden structure in your data. I, as a neuroscientist, am really interested in understanding these complex structures like the brain. It's one of the most complex structures we have in the world. And so for that, we want to disentangle and understand what is actually giving rise to behavior. So that's what our algorithm does.
The researchers say the goal of Zebra is to uncover structure in complex systems, and it could have clinical applications beyond neuroscience. And now in motorsports technology. Mercedes-Benz has plugged its Formula One team into the engineering process to build vastly more efficient mass-market electric vehicles and slash product lead times by 25% or more to jumpstart its effort to overtake Tesla.
The 2014 regulations for the power unit, it was centered around efficiency. We had a fixed fuel flow, and it meant all of our design, both the combustion engine, the electric machines, the power electronics, the battery, all had to take care of every single joule of energy. That has led to a way of working where we're really focused on efficient design whilst we're maximising performance. If you go from Formula One to AMG One, we took the powertrain from a Formula One car, made it road legal. That was a huge challenge. We learnt more. Formula E, that took us from Formula One and a hybrid powertrain into a pure EV, where again, the challenge is similar. We need to absolutely maximise every single joule, chase every single watt of loss. And that's really the ethos that we were looking for in EQXX. How do we create a super efficient real-world EV?
So far, the auto industry has focused on adding batteries to increase EV range, exacerbating a looming raw materials shortage. But HPP's Alsop said making EVs more efficient means car makers can use fewer batteries, making them both greener and cheaper. Now going into robotics. This robot can surf across grains of wheat or barley like it's swimming through water. Its creators say it could change the way we store the food we grow and even save lives. If it's too hot, it could mean infestations of mold or insects and significant portions of a farmer's crop being destroyed. To get a taste of how the silo's doing, the robot swims in the grain, burrowing itself in the heap and taking measurements for temperature and humidity.
So the main purpose of the robot is to make sure that the same quality of grain that goes into storage is the one that comes out, hence helping the likes of farmers, grain merchants, cooperatives and port operators reduce mass and quality losses, not lose premium when they go and sell the grain or when they send it into production.
Conti says a large bulk grain store can currently take days to sample, while a Kroger robot could produce a 3D map of the heap's temperature and moisture levels in a fraction of that time. And now in Germany. A photo media artist, Boris Alderson, hit the headlines and brought the AI debate to the forefront when he refused to accept a Sony World Photography Award for his AI-generated image at a London ceremony in April. Back at his studio in Berlin, Alderson spoke about the risks and possibilities of AI technology.
Wir haben jetzt eine Zukunft vor uns, wo alles, was ansonsten irgendeine Art von Beweiskraft hatte, generiert werden kann. Die Stimme, die Fotos, die Bewegtbilder, und daran haben wir uns ja festgehalten als naiver Beweis für eine Realität. Natürlich war diese Realität immer ein Ausschnitt.
While Alderson is convinced there should be regulation to protect creativity and facts, he is under no illusion it will be easy.
In the regulation of the press, a lot of countries are now including information that is uploaded by social media users, and this also includes bloggers. Our social media poll this week is asking you what you think about all of this. It's SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za. On email from me, Phumelele Zondi, and the rest of the team. Bye-bye.